Hi, friends! I'm Lulu, and welcome to Judson Sunday Arts, where kids of all ages can make art that matters. For those of you joining us today with low vision, I am a white millennial. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm wearing a green shirt with little cutouts on it. I've got really short, dirty blonde hair, and there's a big bookcase behind me, 2 doors, and some art on the walls. And you might even see my dog. My dog is named Lamb, and she is a white and black spotted dog with brown spots as well. Today, we are going to learn about vocal improvisation, so you won't need anything but your voice and your imagination. If you tuned into Andy's lesson on January 31st, you might remember a lesson about improvisation featuring Joe from the movie Soul and Ella Fitzgerald. Ella is without a doubt one of the greatest American singers of all time. She was a queen of vocal improvisation, which means changing the way that you sing a song to suit your own style. So Ella used her voice to sound like instruments in the bands that she played with, to sound like other singers, and to playfully remind her listeners about things from pop culture and other songs that they knew. She used the skill for fun, to grow her own artistry, and very rarely to get herself out of a jam. Have you ever forgotten what you're talking about? It happens to me all the time. Or if you were singing a song, have you ever forgotten the next words? I still remember when I forgot the words to Castle on a Cloud in my 6th grade talent show. I was so embarrassed that I cried for almost 30 minutes. But Ella Fitzgerald was a pro. She practiced, she performed for years, and she was able to use her improvisation skills to make a time that she forgot the words to a song into one of her most well-known performances ever. So we're going to watch a short video about 2 of her most well-known songs. And while you watch, listen for how many different ways Ella played with music to make it her own.
Ella Fitzgerald was one of the most important singers in the history of American music. She inspired generations of musicians, from Frank Sinatra to Lady Gaga. She won countless awards, and she even has her own stamp. And there's one performance in particular that's a masterclass in why she's such a legend. 1960, Berlin, Germany. Ella had become a global sensation by that point and was playing in front of thousands of fans. As a nod to the audience, she decided to do a song written in Germany called Mac the Knife. It was a huge hit in the States at the time, made famous by Bobby Darin.
Oh, the sharp bait has such teeth, dear.
It's about a character from an opera who's a violent murderer, a pretty masculine song. And back then, you only really heard men sing it, until Ella.
We'd like to do something for you now. We haven't heard a girl sing it. And since it's so popular, we'd like to try and do it for you. We hope we remember all the words.
Ella and her band hadn't rehearsed the song much, but she was known to shake things up from time to time, so she launched into it anyway.
Oh, the shark has pearly teeth, dear.
The performance was going smoothly, until sure enough, about halfway through, she completely forgot the words.
Oh, what's the next chorus to this song now?
She still had to last another 2 minutes on stage, so she just started making stuff up.
Ah, Louis Miller. Oh, something about cash.
Ella was also a great mimic, and she wove in this perfect Louis Armstrong impression. She managed to freestyle her way through the entire rest of the song. This is a jazz world equivalent of an NBA player sinking a buzzer beater. But it goes beyond Grace Under Pressure. Ella took this song all about a serial killer and turned it into something so much more joyful. She made it her own.
You like Mac the Knife?
And the show got even better from there. Ella moved right into what's considered one of the best scat solos ever recorded. Which brings us to the next thing to know about Ella. She made scatting what it is today.
She and Louis Armstrong are the reason why scatting became a part of the language of music.
Ella was an incredible scatter for a few reasons. She was a master of harmony, and she had nearly perfect rhythm and perfect pitch.
You could tune your piano by her voice, and you could adjust your metronome to match her.
All this gave her insane vocal control. She could truly use her voice like an instrument. But beyond how well she could scat, there were some secret codes in this solo.
She had this great, she had a great sense of humor about it, and one of the primary manifestations of that humor was her gift for quoting.
Quoting is essentially referencing other songs during improvisation.
Art Tatum was a great quoter. Nat King Cole, as a piano player, was brilliant at coming up with these great quotes. But I think we all have to admit that Ella was the all-time master.
I guess these people wonder what I'm saying.
This song was moving fast, and Ella was swerving from reference to reference.
Ever see a dream walking? Well, I did. Tisket a tasket, I lost my yellow basket. Having a heat wave, tropical heat wave.
It's common in jazz to quote other songs, but Ella was really good at it. She grabbed these quotes so quickly and slotted them right into the melody, and she resolved every phrase. That's difficult for any jazz musician. Think of it as playing a game of Tetris really fast.
Way back home in Idaho.
And Ella was especially clever in choosing popular songs that people would recognize. It's another reason people loved listening to her. She made you feel smart.
I think I went through it like bar by bar, and I pulled out 50 songs that she quoted in 5 minutes. Just incredible the way her mind worked. So fertile.
Ella's musicianship made her a legend. But what may be even more incredible is what it did for all the vocalists who came after her. Before Ella, singers weren't necessarily considered musicians in the same way instrumentalists were.
Because prior to her, the only requirement for a vocalist was to sing the lyric.
Ella proved that singers were capable of the same level of artistry as every other member of the band.
I'm just thankful that she did that for us, because she created a pathway for vocalists to be a part of all the fun.
Ella raised the bar. And even though other people can channel what she did, nobody can quite touch what kind of performer she was. Speaking of, that Mac the Knife cover where she forgot the lyrics halfway through, she won a Grammy for that. Actually, she won 2.
So how many different ways did Ella use her voice to make her mark on music? She scatted, she quoted, she imitated. The list goes on because she was a master of song. But those are the 3 big things that we're going to talk about today. And without further ado, it's music making time. Think of a song that you love and sing it to yourself to remind yourself how it goes. Then, instead of singing the words, replace the phrases, replace the words in the song with scat syllables. Some of the most common ones that people use are do, ba, and doot. But really, any sound can work. So, for example, if I wanted to sing the song Blue Skies with scat syllables, it could sound like this. Do ba da doot, do ba da scoo ba da doot. And if you want an extra challenge, you can replace the words with other words. Words from another song or whatever's on your mind. I make up a lot of songs about my dog Lamb. So if I sang a song about Lamb to the tune of Blue Skies, it could sound like this. Lammy, Lamb is my dog. She likes to eat snow and jump on logs. It doesn't have to rhyme, but that's how my mind works. But if I sang it like Lamb, if I imitated her, maybe it could sound like this. Bow wow, I am a dog. I love to eat and jump on logs. Bow wow wow wow. At least I'm smiling right now, and hopefully you are too. Try any or all of these things. Singing with scat syllables, replacing the words, and imitating. You could spend 5 minutes or a lifetime, like I do, singing your own songs. As long as you have fun, challenge yourself, it'll be blue skies, even if there's a blizzard out there. If you love what you made, send it to me so I can feature it on another edition of Judson Sunday Arts. Be safe, wear your masks, happy art making, and happy Black History Month, friends. See ya.